Good morning across the domain.
And welcome to LOTUS.
LOTUS, linking others to unify Shrindom. I am Jerome, aka Lollipop, Alpha Temple number 145, Oasis of Columbus, Desert of Georgia, Georgia strong, baby, root.
And I am Dr. Courtney Gurley out of the outstanding Ossipee Court number 186, Oasis of Valdosta, Desert of Georgia. Georgia strong, we here. Here.
Let's get it. All right, today's show.
So today's show we have, okay. Well, today's show, I got you, Jerome. I got you. Today's show, we will be talking to no other than, can y'all hear me? You can hear me, Jerome? You laughing at me?
Yeah,
okay. We are talking about Grievances and Appeals.
Okay. We're talking about Grievances and Appeals. Okay. You right. You got you. And so out there, we're being sponsored by none other than the Session Gala, which it's no longer a ball. It's a celebration of excellence. Dress to impress. Leave your fez, leave your collars in the rooms. We want you to come down there in your Sunday's best, your Tuesday night finest on Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2023 from 8 to 12 at the JW Marriott at the Temple Ballroom on the 4th floor. We're going to get it in. We're going to two-step. We're going to slide. We're going to line dance. We're going to step it out real smooth. You hear? Let's get it.
So hopefully my internet's better. My bad, y'all. It happens.
Yeah, I'm a testament of that and stuff. So
if y'all have anything that y'all want us to broadcast for your temple or your court, anything you have something outstanding going on, please send your email to pr@aeaonms.org.
All right. Now, this is an important piece what I want y'all to play a part in. Right now, we want y'all to go to our YouTube page. We want y'all to take and hit that like. We want you all to comment. We want you all to subscribe, and we want you all to share all across the domain, across the world, what we do, not only on the LOTUS show, but the Desert Corner, the Deputy's Corner, as well as any other program that we put out. I'll be on the lookout because we got a state of domain coming up real soon from the Imperial Pote. So it's coming up real soon, right? Yeah. That's what I hear in my ear. That's coming up real soon and things. All right. So be on the lookout for that. So now, what time is it?
I think it's Arabic Corner. Let go.
Run it.
Okay, y'all, I paid my internet bill. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a different area. I'm at the Grand East. So my internet is, you know what? And then someone came in and I paid my bill. So.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Hey, but check this out. Hey, Noble Myers, he had other obligations today.
Right.
So we're going to try to take it and take a stab at this here. We're not going to give you the meaning of what these temples in court mean, but we're going to try to take a stab at how to pronounce them. Now, if the pronunciation get messed up, blame her, not me. Yeah, you put it right the first time. Yes, you got it right.
Syria.
All right.
Syria Temple, right?
Yes, that's Syria Temple, number 49. That's out there in the West. Okay. All right. So next one. That's Persian Temple up in Indiana.
Okay. Persian. Okay, so listen, what is Oreo without an E now? Oro.
Now, I don't care. Out in Texas, they're gonna be looking for you.
Listen,
because they down there at the bottom of Texas, down there on the border of Mexico. They not only them Texans gonna get you, but the Mexicans gonna get you too. That's an Oro Temple. Lord have mercy.
Oro.
Yeah.
Al-Tabari.
Oh, okay. That's our girl Lemon Drop there. That's her.
Lemon Drop.
All right. right. So that's the Arabic corner for today and stuff. So I think we just gonna skip it.
I think we need to wait till he come back. Because we need Myers back. Because I know we butchering. I know I butchered some things. So we're gonna wait till next time. I think next time we need to do something else.
Oreo without the
Without the E.
Really? Okay.
So because we're not gonna do that again, please drop your temples, courts, deserts, drop them, your oasis. Let us know that you are here and you are watching Lotus. Okay.
All right.
So today on the Lotus Show, we'll be spotlighting no other than daughter Dr. Bernadette R. Griffin. She is at a platter court number 114, Oasis of New Orleans, Desert of Louisiana. Hey, how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well.
Look at her. She got that Nolan smile on her this morning and things. Good morning. So we also have none other than Daniel Norfleet, past potentate, out of Pyramid Temple number 1, out of none other than the Oasis of Philadelphia, Desert of Pennsylvania. Come on in there, past potentate Norfleet. Good morning, good sir. How are you?
We can't hear you.
You can take yourself off of mute. Because I don't read lips that well, and people, please don't take it to heart that I'm trying to make fun of.
We don't need no grievance. We don't need no grievance.
No. We got grievance and appeals on here already and stuff. So these just jokes now. These just jokes, and these jokes ain't gonna tell themselves. But we gonna get Norfleet and stuff with him and his not being able to.
He didn't pay his bill either.
I think I should be able
remember, y'all, this is a live show. Things do happen. It's live, okay?
Hey, technology. Technology is wonderful when it's working, but when it's not, my Lord. So good morning there, Nova Norfleet. How you doing?
I'm doing blessed. I'm blessed. Truly blessed to be here with you this morning.
Hey, good. Hey, we're gonna jump right up in this here. The first question is gonna be a panel question. It means both of y'all gonna ask the same question. So the first question is gonna go to daughter Griffin. Now, daughter Griffin, do you mind if I call you Bernadette?
That is fine, sir.
Okay, I thank you, ma'am. So the first question is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is daughter Bernadette Griffin?
Thank you for that question. So first of all, let me just say that I'm a child of God.
Amen.
I am the oldest of 4. I'm originally from Florida. I went to college on a basketball scholarship. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a minor in sociology. I worked for a local police department in Lafayette, Louisiana, where I worked in patrol. I was an investigator with the juvenile division. I was the first African-American female to serve in that capacity. I also moved over to the criminal investigation division. I worked narcotics before transitioning over to the federal government. I retired as a supervisory resident agent in charge from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. I was assigned to internal affairs for approximately 4 years in that capacity. I received a Medal of Valor. I'm a recipient from the Branch Davidian Compound operation in 1993, and some of you may be too young to even know about that. I am a certified firearms instructor. I have my certification through the NRA, and I'm also a licensed to carry firearms instructor. I served on the Imperial Security Department team for 7 years. I was a dime desert directress for 7 years, and I was the directress of the year for 2016 and 2019. I'm currently employed by Dallas County in Dallas, Texas, the Public Defender's Office as an investigator. And I'm currently serving as the chairperson of our newly elected Imperial Grievance and Appeal Committee, along with our other 2 elected committee members, daughter Dana Crawford King and daughter Tiffany Lathan.
Okay. Oh, listen. I got more questions for you later on in the show.
Yes.
But Mr. Norfleet, can I please call you Daniel? Because I do not want to butcher your name later on in this show.
That's all right. No problem.
Okay. Daniel, same question. Tell us about yourself.
I am Daniel B. Norfleet. I'm a graduate of Penn State University. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. Went to public school in Philadelphia for several years, and then I went to a prep school in Philadelphia, Germantown Prairie School, where I graduated, and then went to Penn State. I graduated there, and then I worked in the mental health, mental retardation field for 6 or 8 years, and then I went to SEPTA, fifth largest transportation authority in the United States, where I started out on the ground level job as a rail installer, and then got elevated to management, where I served in management for 27 years, managing operators, cashiers, maintenance people, and that level. And I was also a grievance officer for the managers at SEPTA. I currently am retired. I've been retired since 2015, but I did go back to work for a while being a substitute school teacher. I am the youngest of 10. 10 I'm the youngest boy in the family. I have been deacon in Mount Olivet Baptist Church in Hightstown, New Jersey. I've served on the Grievances and Appeals Committee for 10 years. This is my 10th year. I served with Rodney Jones from Jaffa Temple in Louisiana, and Dwayne Thomas, who is from Oconus. I'm sorry, I don't know his temple in the Far East. We try to do a yeoman's job in handling all grievances and appeals that come our way.
All right. We can't hear you. So you see, listen.
You're right about that and stuff. Okay. So that's me. That's on me. Yeah, I muted myself because I want to see if y'all can read my lips. Just joking. But all right. So my question now is an individual question, and this one here is to daughter Bernadette. So I see that when we came on, you asked us a question about us having on red, and I see that you have a hint of red on yourself. Does that mean, is there something significant there?
Is that something significant? Of course it is. I believe red. That's Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Okay. How long have you been a Delta?
41 glorious years.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So 41 years. So, Mr. Daniel, my question is for you now. Because BSC he had the last question. It's okay. I still love you. We are still sisters in the D9 because I'm a member of no other than but moving on. Mr. Daniel, 900 members in your temple and you were potentate. How was that?
That was very challenging, but very rewarding. When you have that many members to take care of, you can run the gambit of all different types of problems. But knowing the pride that I have in being from Pyramid number 1, I love my temple. I've been a very faithful member, and still to this day, I try to be very active. The challenges is that you have to have a listening ear, a faithful heart, and a mind of understanding. That's what I always try to carry.
Okay, all right. So you talk about dedication there. So let's talk about the dedication with you there, Bernadette, because you're in all your houses happen to be in New Orleans, but you live in Texas.
Yeah.
How is that you can be so active in all of your houses that from what is it, about 2 hour drive? You got to be about 2 hour drive, right?
You can add about 6 more hours to that and make it a total of 8.
Yeah, you heard that.
Just make it 8.
Well, so you just go to a meeting every once in a while, like once a quarter, then, right?
I get to Louisiana as often as I can. Like I say, it is an 8-hour job. An 8-hour drive.
8-hour job. It's an 8-hour job.
And you're right. It is a job. It's a labor of love to be a part of this organization and all of the organizations because it requires a lot of your time, your patience, and travel. And so, yes, I'll work all day and I will leave at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, even though a lot of the brothers over in New Orleans that know me and they know that I'm on the road, they fuss at me like, look, you need to get somebody to ride with you. And you don't need to be on the road by yourself, at that time of night. But because I am dedicated and I want to be active as much as I can, I want to be in the presence. So when the time comes, I will either get in my car, I'll drive the 8 hours, I'll arrive in New Orleans early morning, and check into a hotel and do what I have to do, and I get back in my car and I come on back to Texas. But you have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to make that sacrifice, and it is a sacrifice. But I love this organization, and I love all of the different houses that I have been privileged to represent.
But that has to be a labor of love and stuff, because you got people right around the corner that lives 20 minutes from their meeting spot that don't go to their meeting and things. Okay,
come on now. Who he preaching today? Okay, so but this is my favorite part, y'all. Time to rep your class or set or whatever they call it. Rep it, okay?
All right. Let's see who we got.
Okay, greetings from illustrious Commandress Rosalind Moody, Neighbor Court number 123, go Aces of Atlanta, Desert of Georgia. I must be reading.
Stephanie Harbison, all the way up there, Arabic Court number 21. I tell her hubby, I said, what's up?
Okay, good morning, Rena. I'm not gonna butcher. Neighbor Court number 123.
That's Renee too.
Renee, oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm on Shakandra Hawkins. Good morning. It's Akaba Court number 221, Oasis of Tyler, Texas. Hey, Shakandra, tell them what she said about oral.
Can you not next? Oh, we have the Honorable Pastor say Gary Sylvester, Imperial High Priest and Prophet. Honorary.
Just Gary. All right, so we got Jackson, Mississippi. Rizza. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
All right, I see you, Coley. I see you, Casper. Chief Ray-Ban out of African Temple 142. Oh, it's Albany, Desert of Georgia. Georgia strong.
Rude. I roll. Brutal Brothers, that's what it is. Andrea Dillon, good morning. Mental Court number 53, Oasis of Oakland, Desert of California. Up early this morning. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, T. Jones, I see you. Court 69, Oasis OKC, Desert of OK.
Alarath. Facebook user, past commander Wendy Farrer, Didi, out of Barack Court number 233, Oasis of Hessifer, Desert of Georgia. Georgia strong, baby.
All right, greetings from past Conte Mo Carrington, Arabic Temple 40, Oasis of New Haven, Desert of Connecticut, I believe. And that's
that's my DJ.
Jerome, I'm gonna get you because you being real petty today, but I got something for you at the end of this show. I'll be pettier.
Lord have mercy. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of halfway nervous right about now. So let's dig deep into this the reason that we have you all here today. So let's talk about the grievance appeal process. And we're gonna go to Norfleet first. So Norfleet, tell us, what is the process for a noble to file a grievance, and what's the time frame of the turnaround for the response?
First, it must be established that you truly have a grievance. And by that, you should look in the Constitution and find the article that applies to what you're grieving. And then when you find that article, then you should download the grievance form from the internet, which under the R heading, Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order Nobles in the Fiction. Find that article and then put your pertinent information on the grievance form and the article that you're citing that you have been aggrieved on. Now, you should first try to handle your grievance on the first level, which is within your temple, and discuss it there. If you have no success with it there, then you should take it to your deputy at Oasis and let it be discussed with him. If you don't have any success, then you should try calling or talking, reaching out to the Grievance and Appeals. You'll follow Grievance and Appeals, writing out a assumption of what your grievance is about, explaining the particulars of it on a separate form that you write. And after you've done that, you will then mail it off to the Imperial Recorder, and also you will send a copy to the Grievance and Appeals Committee, AE, myself, the chairman, or one of the other nobles. So we will then have the grievance. Then when it's received officially, we have the official notice of the grievance. Then we will have 30 to 60 days in some cases to review the grievance, interview all the peoples in the grievance process that are involved in what the grievance is about. And then we will send it back with our reply to the Imperial Divan, who will then review the grievance as it was filed. Then we have another 30 days to send you back, 12 to 14 days to review that, and then send it back to you with your answer of what was decided on that grievance.
Okay. All right. So same question, Bernadette. What is the process on the daughter side?
Yes, ma'am. Again, thank you for that question. So our process we're trying to mirror the process of the nobility, but because we are a brand new elected committee, we are implementing or setting up our process. So everything is not completely in place, but we are definitely getting there. So I would urge all of our members, particularly our daughters, if you would go to Article number 2, Section 12, page 31, and have a true understanding of what the Grievance and Appeals Committee is all about, and the fact that all of our members have the right to file a grievance if they would like. But it specifically says in the Constitution and the bylaws that a Grievance and Appeals Committee, which shall consist of 3 daughters who shall be selected, one each year for a 3-year term or tenure. Initially, one is elected for 3 years, one for 2 years, and one for 1 year. And their duties shall be to investigate and report upon all grievances and appeals submitted to them within the domain. A daughter does not have to be a past commandress to be eligible for election to this particular committee. Any daughter may file a grievance directly with the committee with a copy to the Imperial Recorders. And the Imperial Recorders will in turn notify the Imperial Court Divan that all of the committee actions and recommendations to affirm or reverse the grievance or appeal shall be reported to the Imperial Court Divan and the Imperial Court. A daughter may appeal the decision of the committee to the Imperial Court while in the annual session. An Imperial Court shall affirm the recommendation or reject the recommendation or modify the recommendations or award a new trial. So right now, what we're doing as a committee, we have a formal email address. Any daughter that would like to submit a grievance to us would send that to Grievances and Appeals, and this is all one word, Grievances and Appeals Complaints at doipha.org, not .com, but .org. That is the process that we're using right now to forward information to the committee. But let me just share just a couple more things with our members to let you know what is forthcoming and to understand that everything that this committee is doing, because we are brand new, we can put it in writing. We have some awesome ideas. We put the information in writing, but yet we still have to pass it through the Imperial Commandress, the Deputy Imperial Commandress, and the Deputy Divan. And not the Deputy Divan, but the Imperial Divan. And then they'll take a look at what it is that we're trying to implement, and they'll respond back to us. So it's taking us a little bit of time because we are brand new. But we are finalizing the implementation of a hyperlink for the daughters. And this will be on our official website. So when you go on the website, you should be able to instantly, when it's in place, you'll see something that'll come up. It'll be a link that'll say Grievance and Appeals. Once you click on that link, that will take you to a fillable form. You complete the form. The form will then populate the application or the complaint form to our official email address. The committee is also collectively, we review all of the grievances that we receive. The 3 of us, we get together, we talk about them, I assign it either to myself or one of the other two members of our committee. That person will start working on it. You will get a formal letter from the committee saying that we've received your concern, your grievance, or your complaint, and you'll get a letter saying that we got that into whom that particular grievance has been assigned. And then once the daughter is completed the investigation, collecting all of the information, we come back together as a 3-person committee. We talk about our findings, we talk about our recommendations, and then we submit that formal document as similar to what Daniel Norfleet said. We send that to the Imperial Commanders and to the Imperial Divan. If they have any input, they'll refer that back to us, and we'll tweak the information as needed. Our process again is we have a little bit longer time. The nobility has 30 days. We've given ourselves as a committee at least up to 90 days. So,
Okay.
and we want members to know that when we get information, it's not an overnight microwave type of situation. If we have to go through every court member for an interview, well, we need to do that. And so we will do our due diligence to make sure that we uncover every rock and every stone, so that when we're finished, we're not leaving anything undone. And
Yeah.
what we'll have is a clear, concise, complete investigation. And then once everything is approved, we'll send the letter to the grievant, who's the person who filed the grievance.
Mhm.
And a copy of the information goes to the illustrious commanders, the deputy for the Oasis, as well as the deputy for the desert.
A question for you for a point of clarity. When it comes to your decision, is you all's decision final, or is it final upon the going through the Imperial Court?
Well, that's an interesting question because in the process that we complete, it's final for us. But as I said, the Imperial Commanders has the right, per the Constitution that I just read, the Imperial Commanders has the right to say, okay, we want to make sure that you did this. Did you think about this? And we did it. We may have done it, but it may not necessarily be documented in such a way that they will see it. When I say they, the Imperial Divan and the Imperial Commander. So if that question comes back to us, then we have to answer those questions that are being posed to us by the Imperial Commanders. And as of now, and we've been in these positions since August of last year, we've done a yeoman's job. Let me put it that way. We have done a great job. The information that we have submitted to the Imperial Commanders, she's very impressed what this committee has done on our own, and we're not getting stuff kicked back and really delaying the process to say, hey, you all need to go back and reinvestigate this, because we're qualified. We have the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to do the job that we have been elected to serve our body.
Okay, so when it comes down to it, y'all, I know everybody in the audience have questions. Please send your questions in, put them in the chat so we can ask those questions. But Mr. Daniel, I have a question. I have a question for you. So we understand that some people just file stuff just to file stuff because they angry. It's not always true. It's just they just want to file. Listen, they hurt my feelings or something small. What do you do for those that file grievances that are false? Do they receive consequences?
Well, all the grievances get a thorough investigation. Remember, we have to pull up every rock and overturn and see what's under it. And if we know it's false, we're going to let the divan know that this person filed a false grievance, and there should be something done to them for filing something false. We have discovered that several times, and the divan has taken action against those people when they do file something. We've had some people that made stories up, but when we've done a thorough investigation, which means we went and interviewed people, we called on them, and even checked with other people outside the realm of the grievant to find out if this information is true or false. Remember, we're not going to just take the story as it comes written on the paper, because some people are good story writers. But the best part I can say is we read the comic book real well, and we'll discover that it's a comic book, and we'll turn it over to the correct people for them to do something about it.
Right.
Okay. All right. So in other words, hey, if you know it's a lie, don't bring it.
Don't
That's
do it.
correct.
Reconsider.
That is correct. We want only the
Reconsider.
truth. We're
Okay.
here.
All right. So I hear that there's a question for Bernadette. So it's coming from Tower Holiday. Can a court vote to overturn a daughter's fine that is implemented by the illustrious commanders for improper regalia, or is it required to be elevated to grievances and appeals if the daughter wishes to appeal it?
Okay, so we know that the illustrious commandress is like the president. That's the person that runs the court. So if we look at the Constitution and bylaws, what it says in there that the illustrious commandress has the right to fine a daughter within that court if they have done something that's egregious or they violated some part of the Constitution and bylaws. So I'm sure that the commandress consults with the deputy for the oasis and all together with the deputy for the desert, and they make a final decision. Once that decision is made, then no, the court should not be looking to overturn the decision of the commandress. Now, if the person doesn't like it and they feel that something has not been done properly, do they have the right to elevate it to the next level? Sure, because what I just read in the Constitution and bylaws for grievance and appeal, you have a right to file a grievance. What if you feel as though you've been wrong or there is an error and you need a second set of eyes to take a look at that decision, then yes, you have a right to file a grievance on that, and we will look at it. But again, always try to settle whatever the concerns are at the lowest level. And hopefully that answers the question.
Okay. So listen, great information. I don't know what's going on with my braces today. I can't say nothing. Great information. But we are going to get right into another rep.
All right, let's see who we got. Illustrious Commanders, Nakia Mack, Al Sharif Court number 232, Oasis of Phoenix City, Desert of Alabama.
Hey, I see. We have no other than Illustrious Commanders Tara Holiday out of Stokeland Court number 173 in Georgia, y'all. She in Georgia.
Past Potentate McGraw out of Muhammad Temple number 34, Little Rock. Didn't you become grandmaster up there?
Okay. Daughter Pratt in court number 78.
Ramses.
All right, Alejandro, we already know you was the one that was making those posts about my bills and stuff that I didn't pay my bill. But we see you, First Lieutenant Commanders out of Magnus. Hey, Allie, Deputy's Corner.
First Lieutenant? Wait a minute. She First Lieutenant?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was that. Okay. Past Commander Monique Varner out of Alarath Court number 69, Desert of Oklahoma, Oasis of OKC.
OKC. All right. Out to Court. I see you, Daughter Jordan, High Priestess. I see you.
Hey, Nanette. Good morning, Daughter Detria C. Matthews, Arabic Court number 21, Oasis of Chirac, Chicago, Desert of Illinois.
Don't get in trouble now. All right, I see you. Daughter Ziegler, El Hoffa Court, Oasis of Cleveland, Desert, Ohio.
Hometown. Okay, Daughter Nakia Mack, Al Sharif Court number 232. That concludes. Okay, all right. Now, hey, look here. I know y'all got questions for the grievances appeals now. Now, y'all go ahead on and drop those questions down so we can go ahead on and so you can get it straight from here. Go ahead on, Dan. Go ahead, Norfleet. Leave me alone now. Leave me alone. All right. So All right, with your with the grievances of appeals, we know that the grievances appeals committees are elected positions. So that means that you all work for the Imperial Council and the Imperial Court. So as far as, do you all wait until Imperial session to give the results of for the grievance appeal, or do they get them prior to session?
Is that a question for me or a question for?
Yes, for you, Daniel. Yeah,
All
my
right.
bad.
We give the answer after we've done our full investigation, but we read the final answer at convention when we're there. But you get your answer during the year if the time permits. Now, if you put something in and we have had the 30 days we needed and it's been sent to the dive-in, and the dive-in has sent it back and had no problem with the answer that we've come up with, or there is some hiccup that we have to go back in and investigate and send it back through again, then that's when it takes a little bit more time. But we try to stay within the confines of what the Constitution and bylaws say. It's 30 days for the first with the letter, then 12 days when we do some investigation, then another 30 days we have to send an answer, write an answer up and produce. Before we send the answer out to the complainant, we send it to the dive-in. The dive-in then, after they've read it, gives us the okay to send you out your answer. But to answer it completely, you can hear the final answer at convention, but you do get an answer during the year when you file your grievance.
Okay. So, Dr. Griffin, I have a question for you. So I know there's a lot of situations where elections happen. And when elections happen, some people are jumped because of different reasons. With the grievance and appeals, is someone able to make a grievance if they felt like they should have been placed as the first lieutenant or the illustrious commanders?
So it goes back to that main statement that's in the Constitution and bylaws, that a member has the right to file a grievance regardless, for whatever it is. Now, I will say this, that there have been instances that this particular elected committee, that we have received information on grievances or complaints or issues or concerns, however we want to term them, that have not necessarily met the threshold of a complaint, of a real grievance. So as a committee, we have decided, and we were asked by the Deputy Imperial Commanders if we would consider implementing mediation into our process. So what we have done is we have hosted Zoom calls with entire courts, particular members of the court, whether it's the person that thinks that something has happened that we need to look into, as well as the commanders and the deputies for the desert and the oasis. And so we've had conversations to kind of bring or shed some light, because sometimes we read things in the Constitution bylaws, and in other instances we don't read. And sometimes we just have to come together collectively and sit down and say, what really makes sense here? You know, when we start talking about lines and stuff on the local level, you know, is there really a line on the local level, or does that apply to Imperial Court? So members have the right to be nominated for positions within their court. And if the process is legit, if it's legitimate, based on the Constitution and bylaws, and if the person is elected into a position, they're installed into a position, then they're in that position. Now, will we go back and maybe have that conversation? We can, but we just want to make sure that things are done above board so everyone understands what transpired, and we like to try to bring some normalcy to the situation, because after all, we're supposed to be working together as one, not against one another. And that's what we sometimes find happens. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. It answered my question. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hear that there's a question that came up from the audience. What was that question? Okay. So this is for Brother Griffin. Can you please repeat the grievance email address again, or post it in the chat? Thanks. Okay, so that's easy to fix there. So hey, Ted, can you post that that email address up there again, please, for us? All right. So hold it there for a minute or so. So going back to daughter Griffin for a minute or so, as far as going back, as far as these jumping positions per se. But if a court or a temple at their said meetings, whether they bring individuals that haven't been to a meeting in 20 years to a meeting to vote, that's their right to cast their vote. But is it fair or unfair in order for them to have another election because of other members that have decided to come in to vote for someone? If that makes sense. Mutation.
I do apologize. So I was wanting to make sure that I understand your question. So your question is, if a court or a temple, I'll speak from a court's perspective because I can't speak for a Noble Norfleet.
Right, and we're gonna ask them the same question as well.
Exactly. So you're saying that if a court has had their elections already, they've already selected their officers.
Selected their officers. They had the election. They had the nomination, the elections, and the installation of those officers. But then they come back later down the road, and they have to have in another election and installation of officers. Do you think that's fair to the court and the members of the court?
Well, I think personally, my opinion really doesn't matter. It's what the Constitution and bylaw says. When you have an election and you have elected individuals into a particular position, you have that person that stood up and held their hand up and you've installed them into that position. My question then would be, how do you uninstall that person from that position? What authorizes anyone to do that? Just because you may have gone out and pulled in more members for whatever reason, then now it appears that we're acting against the Constitution and bylaws. And is that fair? No. Is it right, or proper, or correct? I would say no, based on the Constitution and bylaws.
Okay. Right. So Daniel, same question.
Yes, I'm going to tell you this up front. I'm a little biased on this because I'm a man that did all the 10 years. I took the line to get to be potentate. I served all the chairs fairly. I was elected in each position. Let me give you a couple of examples that happened over the years that I've been on the Grievances and Appeals. I had one instance where a noble had never came to his temple meetings during the year, but he came and he wanted to be the high priest and prophet. So he came with all his friends and he ran against the man that was going to be elected to the position, and they elected him. But the only problem was he didn't know how to do the job. And when he got elected to that position by his friends, he didn't want to do the job the proper way by our traditions in our book. And eventually he decided he wasn't going to come to the meetings, but he was just going to be there. So they had to file a grievance to try to get him out of there. But he was elected. So you could not remove him. Once elected and installed, you could not remove him. But you can inform the nobility of what's been going on in the performance of the job, and which was he didn't do the job, he didn't know how to do the job, and he didn't want to take the time to learn how to do the job. So we must always be mindful of who we want to put in these positions, if they know how to do the job, and if they're willing to commit to be in that job. Everyone does not have the commitment. They see the glory, but they don't see what it takes.
Amen.
The other example I want to give you is that we had a temple earlier in 2 years ago. They had taken the nominations in November, and at that nominations, everybody said they were going to move forward with no problem. But when election time came in December, they had an objection to the nominations, and a man stood up and he wanted to run. He was qualified to run for potentate. So there was no objections. They had one election, and that was for potentate. There was 34 members in the temple, and they had 2 visitors there, and they polled the house, and they came up with 30 voided votes and 4 actual votes. The 4 actual votes was for the man that was not nominated before, and he became the potentate. That was fair by the Constitution, and that was how the election process went. So our elections is based solely on the actual process by our Constitution and bylaws. We have to follow that. And that's what the Grievances and Appeals Committee will uphold at all times. We will look at what the Constitution and the Policy Procedure Manual said, and that's how we enact it. Not because of, hey, my buddies came and voted, and they voted me in, but what was fairly done correctly by our laws. Now, I have one last one that's a joke, though. There was an election, and they were having their election on that night, and the guy was 5 votes short in the election. He asked to be excused. He left the temple and ran the 5 people that weren't at the temple for the election and got their vote. And he came back and he said, I have 5 proxies. That elects me to be the potentate. There is no proxy process in that. Okay.
He tried.
Okay.
He tried and he failed.
All right. All right. So well, Norfleet, on that one for the high priest and prophet.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an exception to the rule because that's just one person and stuff. But I was in reference, the question I was posed was for the whole slate of members,
right,
to be elected and stuff. So, and I understand that we do have members that they bring their buddies and everybody else in that they ain't been to a meeting in 20 years in order to get in rotation and things and stuff, and that happens. But all right, so
not to cut you off, but there's no mandatory attendance on the noble side. I know the daughters years ago had a mandatory number of meetings you had to attend in order to be eligible to vote, but we don't have that. And so in that process, this does happen a lot where people gather up old members that hadn't been out in a while, and they're their friends, and they know they'll vote for them, and they will, as they say, stack the deck. So, and that happens.
That is true. That's true.
That happens,
Okay. Yeah. This is true. This is true and stuff. Okay. All right. So do we have any last questions? Okay. Daughter Griffin, how long after an incident does the daughter have to submit a grievance?
Okay. So daughter Jones, this is not like your regular EEOC process. Like you have 45 days from the time that you feel that someone has done something against you. So we would like to try to keep it timely. We don't want to go back 5, 6, 7 years and start pulling stuff up. But if it's something that has happened, say within the last year or whatever, and you feel as though you need to contact us, then do just that. And if you want us to call you, please make use of that official email address that has been provided. Send us an email and we will call you and we will discuss the information that you are trying to get some clarity on in more detail.
Okay. So thank you so much for that information. So now we're at the time where we're about to get some final thoughts. So Dr. Bernadette, can you give us your final thoughts?
So my final thought is that it is very important for us to understand the chain of command. No matter how hard the members of a court may try to work together in peace and in harmony, sooner or later the court will be faced with conflict. But whatever conflict occurs, every attempt should be made to resolve it at the constituent court level and in a timely manner. The occasion should be rare indeed when it becomes necessary to call upon the imperial commanders to settle conflict within the court. Courts are to be resolved by following the chain of command. The chain of command is your illustrious commandress, your imperial deputy for the oasis, your imperial deputy for the desert, and then the imperial commandress. It cannot be emphasized enough that rare is the occasion when problems are referred to the imperial commanders. Every attempt should be made to resolve court problems at the constituent court level, and it is here that the information is firsthand. As Christian women, we must strive to be forgiving, as retribution is not the quality of a true daughter of Isis. Let's work together, daughters, in everything that we do, decent and in honor, to make sure that we're taking care of each other. We ask the question, am I my sister's keeper? Are we really our sister's keeper? Are we really concerned about the right things? Or are we just committing black on black crime within our organizations and we're beating up one another?
Well, what you talking about?
That we step back and really think about what we're in the organizations for. What did we take an oath for? Why are we really here? We have more fighting inside than we do from people on the outside trying to get in. So let's go back to the basics. Decency and in order, peace and harmony. But what about that word, that ultimate word, love? Jesus loved us all. Why can't we love one another?
Amen.
See, we can't make it into heaven just because we have DOI behind our name.
Come on, somebody.
It's not because of the DOI, but it's what we do as DOI. That's going to make the difference. If you don't know the poem, go and read it. The dash. What do you do between when you're born and when you die? Because we all have to cross that bridge. What's in your dash? Make your dash count. Those are my final thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right,
Thank you.
Powerful. And I appreciate you. Hey, somebody need to hear that too and stuff.
Yes.
So, Daniel, your final thoughts for today. And I know that's hard.
First, I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to explain grievance and appeal, because we're very much a misunderstood group, and some people find out that we might be to think we're threatening, but we're there to keep things balanced, to keep the tide of justice, an equal tide of justice in our organization. And also, I like to say this is that I love this organization a lot, and by that, I want us to think about what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're acting when we're out in public and we're wearing these shirts and hats and all these regalia and all this stuff, and we out there talking with foul language and we're disrespecting women and talking to them in a bad way. Please think about it. We're nobles and daughters. We're in a high esteem. We should carry ourselves in that order. We're not common people. We are elitists in a sense, but we strive to get ourselves uplifted. Please. And remember, charity is what we're supposed to do. Let's do our charity before we think of the party, but do that first. Commit yourself to something. I forgot to tell you guys, when I first came in, I was a clown, and I was in the clown unit, and it helped me learn what I needed to know to be a good noble, a good Shriner, what we had to do. And then I even had to play the role of Santa Claus one year, and I had more wet diapers sat on my lap than ever before in life. But I loved it because the people loved, the Shriners came and did something for them. We went to the shelters and we did things. So strive to do that. Try to work with each other. Stop fighting and having petty arguments about things that are not useful. I want us to increase the numbers to when I first came in. I'm sorry I had to go back that far. When there was 15,000 nobles and daughters at a convention, we had hundreds of people just wanting to travel with us around the country to wherever our convention is. That's what we got to get back to. To my younger brothers and sisters, learn your work before you want to be a commandress, before you want to be a potentate. Know the work. Can you do a funeral? Can you do a Jubilee Day service? These are the things we have to do prideful of. I hate it when I go to a Jubilee service and there's only 10 nobles there and there's over 250 in the rolls. You know, Jubilee Day service is a very important thing. A funeral is a very important thing too, because you think about it, when you go there to a funeral, this is the last time. The last time on this side. If you did right, you'll be on the other side. So please, I strive to all of us. Let us do right. If you see me and you see something that I'm doing wrong, step to me and talk to me. Jerome, the way we hooked up was Jerome seen a noble chase me down in the ball. I didn't know him. And he wanted to get with me because he didn't like my decision on the grievance I handled. But when he called me and we discussed it, he found out I was right in what I did. Everything I do is by this book.
Right.
This book, all the books that we have in our organization, I have with me everywhere I go. I take it, I don't go anywhere without this book. So if you catch me, I can go to my hotel room and look it up, or I can have it in my right hallway and stop there and explain it to you. But we're here to help everybody, not just one side. We're not for the diamond. We're not for just the Imperial Council. We are in the middle of the road, and we are to make sure the hands of justice is equal and fair.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you for being on the show today. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, that was a great show. So much information that was needed. Jerome, I don't speak sign language. I don't read lips. You on mute, player.
I meant to be that way, but I had a lot of noise in the background.
Oh, okay. So listen, y'all. Today's broadcast is brought to you by no other than Imperial Session event that's coming out. We got the celebration of our excellence, dressed to impress. Remember, it is non-regale and it's on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. All right, y'all.
Yep. All right. So also, let us don't forget about sending your HBCU donations in to the School of the Quarter, which is Howard University. Scan here to donate. That's a QR code right there and stuff. Go ahead and scan it and make your donation for the great cause. Don't wait until tomorrow. You scan today. Then you scan tomorrow too and make the donation tomorrow too.
Okay, so Wednesday at Imperial Session, do not forget, it's the Imperial Parade. The deadline to register is July the 1st. If you do not register, you will not be in it. You might want to go ahead and scan. Go ahead and scan. Don't delay.
Yeah. So if you're interested in being spotlighted, okay. You also Templeton Court Oasis class returns. Oh, that's right. For the student aid, you got to be there by 10:30. Because 11:30, because the show starts at 12. So you got to be there prior to. Your money's got to be at Imperial Session by July the 1st. Scan here to register in order to get your monies and stuff there, so we can have a wonderful student aid. The student aid is from 12 to 2, and we're going from there to the parade.
Okay, and on the parade part, we're gonna bring you a little snippet of it. We're gonna end this right here. So we're gonna say our Georgia strong.